Hey guys, Brian here, and currently I am in Alaska. I got a very unique opportunity to speak at a couple different venues and really enjoyed it. It's been such a blessing and such a beautiful land my first time here. And hopefully you can see behind me the lake still partially frozen over. It's kind of chilly out here, and the mountains in the background. There's gorgeous scenery no matter where I go. And I wanted to try at least to get one video in while I'm here in Alaska related to the ABC curriculum. And I thought I'd connect a unique attribute of Alaska to our content today, and that is here in Alaska they got unique different things happening in the seasons. And so during the winter there's not a whole lot of sunlight. It's dark a lot of the time in this area, but then in the summer there's a whole lot of sunlight. And I was talking to a person who lives here, and they say, it's fun, but it can be kind of confusing because during the summer you can be working in your yard till 11 o'clock at night and the sun is still out, and it kind of throws you off. But they do a lot in the summers, hibernate more in the winters, I guess, more in this area. But I want to connect that, the idea of the sun being up all the time, being sunlight all the time, to what we're looking at in our lesson today with God making the sun stand still and giving them extra sunlight, as they have a lot of extra sunlight here in Alaska. Before we get to that, though, we got to back up a little bit. In this particular lesson, we see a lot of things happening. First, Israel just got done defeating Jericho. God gave them the victory over Jericho in a supernatural way, and they were to dedicate Jericho and all its spoils to God as a first fruits of the promised land. And so after they defeated Israel, most Israelites had obeyed God, but one in particular had not. A man named Achan. He had taken some of the plunder from the city of Jericho and stowed it away. And that led to God not being with Israel as they went to go fight the city of Ai, and they lost to Ai. And so Joshua comes to God after that loss and says, God, what's going on? What do we need to do? And God lets Joshua know someone has broken faith. They've taken some of the plunder. And it gives them a process, a way to find out who had done so. And they go through the process. You'll see more details in the lesson, I believe. But they go through the process, and it comes to fruition that it was Achan who had taken the plunder. Achan at that point repents of his sin, but it cost him his life, and it affects those in his family as well, as they are punished for his sin as well. As sin often does, it affects so many more people than just the one who commits the sin. Of course, the people who were in the losing battle to Ai, who lost their lives in that battle, lost because of Achan's sin. Sin affects a lot more people than just the one who commits it. But at that point, the sin has been purged from Israel. Israel goes back and fights Ai with a unique strategy, and God gives them the victory, just like he gave them the victory with Jericho. And then after that, we read about the Gibeonite deception, where Gibeon deceives Israel, and Israel makes a treaty with Gibeon. And at that point, we see where the 5 Amorite kings join together to attack Gibeon for partnering or making a treaty with Israel. And they're going to attack Gibeon, and Gibeon sends word to Israel, please come help us. And God lets Joshua know, go, I will give those 5 kings into your hand, and I'll give you the victory. And so Joshua goes with his people, marches all night long, arrives on the battlefield. God throws the Amorites into confusion and is giving Israel the victory, and he's helping them win the battle, sending the hailstones from heaven, killing the enemy. They're in a panic. And then Joshua cries out to God because he needed more time to finish the rout of the enemy, to track them down and kill their enemy and to defeat them utterly. And he cries out to God, will you make the sun stand still so we can finish defeating our enemy? And God does just that. What an amazing sight that must have been. He gave them the extra daylight they needed. As we see a lot of extra daylight here in Alaska during the summertime. Not right now, it's getting dark, but during the summertime. But he gives them the extra time they need to finish defeating their enemy in an amazing, supernatural, unique way. Never seen before or since. And again, that's to show Israel and to show those who would hear about what's taking place that God gives the victory. It is what he is doing. He's working through all this to fulfill his promises to his glory to Israel, and also more importantly to bring about the Messiah from that nation ultimately. That's the ultimate promise. He's showing the victory belongs to the Lord. So God gives them the extra time. They finish the rout of their enemy, and it's just another wonderful demonstration that Israel is to trust God, to lean on God, to depend on him, and he will give them the victory and fulfillment of his promises to his glory. And of course, we can apply that thinking to our lives as well. If we will trust God, he will do amazing things through our lives for his glory. It may not be making the sun stand still, but He will do awesome things in ways we can't begin to fathom to bring glory to His name and for our good if we will trust Him, put our faith in Him, stand on His word, trust Him in all that He does. We will see Him do mighty and great things. He did it in the Old Testament and the New Testament. He still does them today in ways that are unique to His glory and for our good. So I hope that's encouraging to you. I'm going to head back inside where it's a little bit warmer. It's kind of chilly here in Alaska, but I hope the scenery's been beautiful for you as it has been for me. And I will talk to you guys later on.